Hello everyone, this is Cause Agent Kaudu, and this is going to be a tutorial of how to beat Ghoul School 100%. Down here is the map of the rooms / route that you will be taking. I will edit this video to show where Spike is located and how he travels from room to room. By warping and zipping through the entire game in order to beat the game in about 8 minutes. The route that I'm going to show you is something that I just made up on stream, and for all I know there might be faster, but this is just going to show you how to beat the game the way I currently have it beaten, and just general explanation of what's going on during the gameplay. So like anything else, so far there's only one category in speedrun.com, and that's any %, and any % uses again warps and zips, so that's why I just called this category 100%. I've also done any % glitchless and 100% glitchless. The any % glitchless is about a 13-minute run, and 100% glitchless is about a 15-minute run. The any % with glitches is about a 4-minute run. 4:17 I believe is the current record, and what I'm going to show you is the 100% with glitches, which is about an 8-minute run. So let's go. So with any category at all, you're gonna take the exact same route. So if you look at the top left corner, you see room 1. That's just the current room that you're in. With this game, it's like a puzzle game. You have to go everywhere to find the items that you need. So right here is your weapons and your shoes. I'll explain these as we go, because at the end of it all, we're going to be picking every single thing in the game by skipping all the rooms. And again, down here I'll be editing where I'm currently at and how I'm getting there, and hope to explain in a little as to how things work, maybe? I don't know. So anyways, obviously you want to go towards the right directions in order to beat the game, but obviously this is a tutorial, so I'm just going to show you the fastest way to do it. So here in this case, you just continue going right. Room 4, you use these bats in order to boost forward. That was a one pixel jump to continue going straight by jumping. Otherwise the stairs sort of act like a magnet where you're forced to go up them once you touch them. In that case, it was a 1 pixel jump where the game just let me jump like as if I was on the ground. So here you want to go down. You want to jump down, go right into room 14, which I call the magenta room. These guys you can obviously kill, but I decide to boost under them, which gives you a nice boost. You enter the locker room. This is also being played on an emulator, so I can quick save and quick load wherever it is I need. So here you just want to go straight, jump, boost forward, enter the weight room. So far, just go at it like normal, because what allows you to break the game is these items right here, which are the spring shoes, and the other item I got is the towel. I'm gonna end up dying here, unfortunately, but it doesn't matter. In any case, any regular run that you have, you wouldn't die at all. But in this case, I'm just showing you what route to go. Boost. There, you pick up the Daywaytron, or I don't really know how this is called. So now that you have the spring shoes, you can actually warp everywhere now. You can use any wall at all, like this one for instance, in order to warp. But for whatever reason or another, here I'm just gonna create a save state. For whatever reason or another, only one wall doesn't warp you, and I'll be showing you which room that is. So for instance, in order to warp, you need to remove your spring shoes and equip your sneaker. So now you're on the ground. So when you put on the spring shoes back on, what you want to do is you want to press the opposite way of where the wall is facing. So this is the wall. You put on the spring shoes and you press right, and now you have successfully moved from one side of the wall to the other. In this case, you warped, or zipped I guess you can say, across the room where the Daywaytron was, because up there was the Daywaytron. But in this case it doesn't matter, because even though that is a wall that would take you from one side to the other, you can't actually do it unless if you're across this wall, which takes you over to this wall, which is the door that leads directly back into the locker room. But again, the reason why you don't worry about that is because you no longer need to go across the room. You can just jump over. So anyways, so in this case, you want to remove your sneakers, put on your spring shoes, and press left. And now you're in the warp room, which is room 15. In this case, what you want to do is you want to go press down and then go up. And now you're in room 30. Room 30 is the room where you're going to pick up the spinal zap. So in this case, because I have enough health, you can actually get damage boosted by these little guys. You want to go in the locker room, because at this point you're in a section, like you're basically 75% into the game without actually picking up any of the previous items. So the only reason I could tell you as to why you're so far into the game is because I've already played the game in general, but by the time that you get here, you have needed a bunch of other previous items just to be able to do anything. So in this case, you're in the locker room. We're going to do our quote-unquote second glitch, which is, in this case, you have your spring shoes on. You want to remove the spring shoes and have the sneakers on, and now you're invincible, so nothing can hurt you. And the reason you want to be invincible is because of these guys. I call that the Booger Man. He's just, I don't know, looks like a Booger Man. So you pick up the Spinal Zap, and the Spinal Zap can basically kill anything in a few shots. So in this case, I put the spring shoes back on because, from what I understand, anytime you jump up with the spring shoes, you're pushed forward about 1 pixel, I want to say. I don't fully understand that, nor do I know where to get that information from, but from what I've heard, you want to jump in order to be pushed up by 1 pixel. So every time you jump and you're hitting the wall and bouncing back down, you've been pushed 1 pixel forward. So the reason why I can tell you why you're so far into the game is because these are spikes. These spikes will instantly kill you, basically. And the way you get past them is you need the suction shoes, but we don't have the suction shoes. But because we have the locker glitch, is what I like to call it, you're invincible, so therefore the spikes don't do any damage, and you can just use the spring shoes to get you across. Granted, you can just walk past these things by simply jumping as regular spike, because the character that you control, his name is Spike. But the reason why you want him on is for the next section. So just go across. Don't mind the janitor, because again, nothing can kill you. So if you happen to press up on a locker and you lose your locker glitch, you just press up again, remove your sneakers, and boom, you're back with the locker glitch. Because obviously this is a boss. You can just go right ahead and pass him. In order to kill these plants, I don't know what they're called, you need the sickle that death gives you. At this point, you don't have death. So this would actually be the spinal zap, and right now where we're going is called the embalm fluid, are the last two items you pick up in regular gameplay. So the reason why you want the spring shoes is because you use the ceiling, which you can't see yourself because you're in the background, in order to bounce you forward. So this is the embalm fluid. And then here you remove your sneakers, you put on your spring shoes, and you press right in order to warp. Now there, I sort of messed up. I wanted to show you that you needed to go down, but in this case, it doesn't matter because down is where you want to go. So now you're in room 21. This is an elevator. You can't use the elevator until you kill the elevator boss, but again, in this case, it doesn't matter because you're just warping everywhere. You just go straight. So here, it looks like you've lost your locker glitch, but in fact, you didn't, because otherwise this guy would hit you. I don't know why, but it's only in this room, 103 and 104, where like your locker glitch looks like it's actually over with, but it isn't. And in fact, it works the exact same way, where if you don't have the locker glitch in here and you exit this room, as far as I know, by warping, it'll look like you have the locker glitch and you'll be placed in the background, but in fact, you won't have the locker glitch and you'll still be taking damage from every single thing. So this is your next item. It's called the digester ray. Shoots downward. It shoots the little baby eyeballs that you'll see running around, that you saw me take a boost from while picking up the spinal zap. But obviously in this case, you won't be using much of any of the items. So here, what you want to do is you want to remove your sneakers, put on your spring shoes, and press left. And now you're back in room 15. So in this case, what you want to do is you want to jump and go left. Because whenever you're inside of the warp room and you continue pressing left or right, depending on which direction Spike is going from, you'll end up exiting that room and appearing in the room where you would currently respond to. So if you, in this case, if you go down on the left side, you'll go to room 29. If you go to the left, it's room 28, and if you go up, is room 34. And on the right side, if you go down, you'll go into room 21. And the other two rooms, I don't know which ones they are, because in the map, I've removed them because you don't even bother entering those rooms. But again, the map down here is going to be showing you where Spike is going at all times. So here, you continue going left. Enter this room, and you want to just constantly jump with the spring shoes in order to be bounced forward by 1 pixel. So here, standing, you want to equip the spinal zap in order to kill death faster. So this is death. Notice how you're doing 1 square of damage, and there's your sickle. So right there is your sickle. So here you want to remove your spring shoes, equip the sneakers, equip the spring shoes, and press right. And now you're back in the warp room. But in this case, because I didn't press left, because I didn't press left, I continued going right, but in this case it doesn't matter because you actually want to go down, go back up, jump, and then go right into room 19. Continue going right, and you'll enter room 24 where you will pick up the sandwich / golden apple. These guys will basically instantly kill you. So if you weren't using the locker glitch, if the first guy doesn't get past you, which you can get past from, these other two guys will just instantly kill you. So here's the sandwich. Continue going right because you still need to pick up the golden apple. And again, you have the locker glitch, so absolutely nothing can hurt you. So from what you might be thinking is, this green stuff here damages you, by the way. And this thing, whatever it's called, also damages you. So you might be saying to yourself, well, this is a boring speedrun because nothing can hit you. Now, obviously, in this case, I'm just showing you how to do the route. You can take damage boost here and there in order to go faster, but I would suggest you see my actual speed run of this category just to see how much faster it actually is when it comes to not explaining anything at all. So in this case, you just want to go straight, pick up the golden apple, remove the spring shoes, sneakers, press left, and now you're back in room 15. So in this case, because you don't want to go down, you want to press left in order to warp, and then press right as soon as you feel like you've warped, and you'll go back up the stairs. Because if I go down, I'll be in room 29, and you don't want to be there anymore. So you press left and then you press right in this case in order to go back up the stairs and go to the directed spot. If you're on the right side, you want to press left and then right again just to go back up the stairs. I know it's a little confusing, but it's not that bad once you start memorizing where it is you need to go. So in this case, you just want to go up, and then you want to go down, and then here you want to jump. And now we're going to pick up the suction cups, which is the item that you needed in order to pick up the embalm fluid. These are the little guys that I was talking about. These guys are actually a pain. An old route, you actually went to suction cup basically first, or like right on the top, right in the beginning of the speedrun. But I managed to route it where you would already be invincible and be both on the right side to pick up the right items and on the left side to pick up all the left items. So before, you would go across room 15 from one side to the other in order to pick up the next item, but why do that when you can just pick them up on the same side that you're currently at in order to just go faster. So in this case, this is the room where you would warp from one side to the other. So here you would go across, and in this case you need to remove your shoes. So those are the suction cups, but why do that when you can just warp onto the opposite side? So here you remove your spring shoes, collect your spring shoes again, press left. Now we've picked up the suction cups just like that. So you want to do the same thing because this room isn't allowing you to warp anywhere. You do the same thing. You equip your sneakers and then your spring shoes, press right, and then sometimes you get stuck on the wall. So here I am in the wall. So the warping doesn't always work, and there it worked. So now we're back in the same door we came in from. So here is where you want to do the exact same thing. You want to warp, press right, press left to go up the stairs. So now we're basically done with the game. So you want to enter this door that takes you into room 39, and this is the air duct or whatever the heck you want to call this thing in order to continue forward. So in this case, you can either jump, press start, collect your suction shoes, press up. So now I'm stuck on the ceiling, as you can tell. Well, as you can barely tell because I'm still in the background. So let me show you without it. So you want to jump, press start, suction shoes, press up, and now we're stuck on the ceiling. Or you can just jump and press up, and I want to say it's pixel perfect. I honestly don't know. Again, this is just information that I've picked up from doing the any percent route, where you can just press up and jump and press up, and then, wow, that's some loud music. You press up and you'll actually enter the crawl space without having to use your suction shoes. So now we're in the crawl space, and there is no map for this room, but it's literally just go right. So there's no need for the map at all. So here, let me make the next section that we're going to be working with bigger for you guys. This right here will be the air duct once we get past this section. So in this case, all you're doing is jumping to be pushed forward by 1 pixel, and you're like, oh man, it's a dead end. Well, not really. Just remove your spring shoes, collect your sneakers, put on your spring shoes, and press left. And now we're zipping. So all you do in this case is, if for whatever reason Spike is stuck, you just press left. And if he's fully stuck, you press right and then left, and then he'll just keep on moving forward. So in this case, you want to go down, up, down, up, up, down, because that's the correct order to get through this room if you were to do it without using zips for whatever reason. If you look at the 100% glitch list, the run is about 15 minutes long, and both of these categories are just as equally as fun, because one of them has so much RNG to the point where you're hoping that everything goes right, versus this one where you're just hoping that the warps / the rooms you are entering because you're jumping from one section to another is correct. And then you just continue doing this, continue zipping. Obviously zipping will be so much faster than to simply walk through. And even though the jumping sound can sound annoying, it doesn't really. I mean, you stop noticing it after a while. These are just more booger men that can't do nothing. So if you were thinking, why not warp, or why not zip through these bottom sections? Well, these bottom sections acts like a pit. So if you zip through there, you'll just fall down into your death, and once you die, you'll lose your locker glitch, and you don't want that. But you can still beat the game if you don't have the locker glitch. It'll just make it a little bit harder. So in this case, I will be using save states in order to get inside the wall first try. But obviously in an actual run, you can't use save states, and especially if you're using actual console. But for just teaching purposes, I want to just do the save states and show you what would happen if you were to beat it using the right glitches and whatnot. So here, this right here is the air ducts, right? So here there are just several rooms, as you can tell by down in the map section. There is room 43, which is where we're currently at, which is room 42, which is where we're standing. And then you have a bunch of doors in every single floor that would take you from one section to another. But in this case, because we're using glitches, you don't have to worry about any of this. So what we're going to do is we're going to go straight, because this is the gamma gun that you want. So there I am right between the crack. So up here is the gamma gun. That is the final item in the game, as you can tell by my menu. So you'll want to constantly jump, and all of these ghosts slash rats, they can't touch you. So this is where I'm gonna do the save state. And you want to do exactly the same thing. You want to remove your spring shoes, put on your sneakers, put on your spring shoes again, press left. And the reason why this is pure RNG is because there's a chance that you'll pop yourself through the wall and kill yourself, because what you see over on the right side is just a death plane. And sometimes you'll get stuck in the wall, kind of like while doing warps, where instead of warping, you'll just get stuck in the wall and you have to try again. In that case, it doesn't matter, because all you'll do is lose time, and in this case, if you die, you just lose everything. So spring shoes, and there you see me dying. So in this case, I'm just gonna reload. Sneakers, spring shoes, there I am stuck in the wall. So as to why it didn't work last time versus this time, I have no idea. But in this case, you can't go anywhere, so you have to remove your spring shoes to put on your sneakers. And in this case, all you do is jump, and here you can pop yourself out, poosh. And the only reason why you want to equip the spring shoes back on, there is the gamma gun, is because, again, jumping pushes you forward by 1 pixel, so it'll make you go faster slash not slow instead of just walking, I guess you can say. So right now we're in room B. So you want to enter room B and go left. Here you are just going to constantly jump. So now we're in room 45. Again, the map down here will show you directly as to where Spike is at the time. So this skull indicates that if I were to go into this door, I would just kill myself. So obviously you don't want to do that. So you just go straight past the skull into this very first door. And now we're in room 46, and room 46 has the correct door, which would lead us outside into the final area. So here you've actually appeared on I. So it's the last door on room 46 on the left side. So you just go left. And this door right up here, which you can't see me jump, but up there, that's room 108 where you want to go. So again, this section right here is the most difficult out of this entire run, is hoping that you pop yourself into the wall but not out on first try, and you have to do 2 of them. And in any percent category, which is again only a 4-minute run, you only have to do this once. So here I'm going to do another save state because I don't want to kill myself and end up losing my locker glitch. But at this point, if you were to end up dying here, it wouldn't be as much of a big deal, because all you would have to do is deal with this one rat, versus on the other side, where if you were to lose your locker glitch, you would have to do the wall glitch fast enough so when you're jumping up, the rat doesn't pop you back down into the bottom, or be deeper inside the wall, where if you were to jump up and the rat was waiting for you, he wouldn't be able to touch you because you're just too far in. So obviously right now that might not make any sense, but if you were to attempt to run, you would be like, well, let me just do a safe state and see what happens if I can just do this without the locker glitch, and then you'll see the difference between anything that does deal damage, which is basically everything, versus not. So again, you remove the sneakers, spring shoes, and again, I died there. So in this case, it doesn't matter because I'll just reload with the locker glitch in place, and I got killed again. So you just constantly try. Got killed again. Here we go. So as you can tell, Spike is actually further inside of this wall versus the other one. Can't jump, so you have to remove your shoes. In this case, if you jump right here, you'll actually be pushed forward. So that's one minor way of making both sections faster, where you jump high enough to get your character, Spike, into the wall, so when you press left, you'll actually zip through and land further in than if you were to just walk left and have to continue this walking this entire section. So this is the last room. Here you don't want to have your spring shoes on because you actually won't be able to exit. So having to remove your spring shoes in the previous section is actually good because you can walk through. And then you put on your spring shoes just to continue doing the whole jumping and slash pushing you forward by 1 pixel. And here you just want to go straight, and you're in room 125. You continue going straight past the monkey, so it's just literally go left the entire way until you see the monkey. Here you want to jump and press right. So now you can see me that I'm actually on the next set of stairs, because if you don't do that, and if you don't do that, which I obviously can't do it right now, see, you'll actually end up on the top stairs, and then you're forced to jump and then go down. So that's most likely slower, obviously. So what I do is I continue going straight, and instead of continuing going forward, which you can go through the next set of stairs, I usually end up failing. So I drop myself, jump, press right, and now you're directly in the bottom. So in this case, you just want to continue jumping and going right. And then here, obviously you're like, well, which direction do you go? It's actually not that difficult. It's just go left, and then go right, and then up. That's pretty much it. So here you can choose to go up the stairs again and again, but you can also do I want to say, just do the correct jump. I wouldn't necessarily call it pixel perfect or frame perfect or anything like that. So if you actually end up jumping on the right spot, you'll hit the load zone for the top set of stairs versus the bottom. So here you jump, and now you're on the next set of stairs, which means you have avoided having to go up. And then you can do the exact same thing, jump again. I can't really explain how I do that, but after doing so many runs of this game, you actually end up learning when you want to jump and when you don't, because once you touch you can tell the set of pixels where the stairs ends up starting right underneath Spike's shoes. So as you can tell here, if you press right one more time, notice how Spike is forced on top of the stairs. So what you're doing is, instead of going up the stairs, you're just jumping the entire thing and going just a little bit faster. So in this case, this is the second to last boss. So this is a heart. You can't hit it with your gun, and you can't enter the door by simply pressing up. So in this case, what you want to do is you want to press up and right, or up and left. And for whatever reason, the game lets you in through. So instead of having to force yourself to kill this boss, you can actually just press up and right or up and left, depending on which way Spike is facing. And this right here is the final boss, which is room 129. And this is the cheerleader that from the beginning of the game got captured. And you're like, well, why don't you just go in and save her? It's like, you can, but nothing happens. So let me see if I can just destroy this barrier and move past the boss. Now, if this ends up working, I'll be deadly surprised, because I didn't even bother trying it in any of my runs. So let's see if it works. So what you want in order to destroy this barrier is you need to hit it with something that shoots forward but isn't on you, kind of like the gun. So you can either use the sandwich, or you can use the embalm fluid. And in this case, you want to use the embalm fluid because it's easier and faster. And there you go. The boss still has not been beaten, even though you did get rid of the barrier. So you want to kill the boss. So in this case, I'm just gonna kill him really fast. And the timer ends as soon as the furnace's fire is off. So in this case, I do want to call out for a seizure warning because the ending of this game is really bad. It just does a lot of flashing lights. So I have to wait for that so you guys can tell that I've beaten the game. So in this case, you can tell what the story was all about. It's like your school got invaded by ghouls, and even though there is no cutscene showing the school from going to normal to dark side, I guess you can call it, they just sort of show it to you at the very end, where you can see the ghouls escape you can see the ghouls escape the school, but obviously there really is no story to this game. It's just you're this guy, you have to save the cheerleader, which nothing even says otherwise. I found out the story from the wiki. I'll link that in the description below, and hopefully that helps as to how the run works. If you have any questions, please ask them when it comes to this game or any other game I've run, or in general what I think about speedrunning. But if I ended up missing anything, please let me know. I'll also link my actual run that I did on my stream, which again the final time was in 8:16. There are faster strats to do the very beginning, about 10 seconds faster, but I never bothered to learn them. But I'll also link another video to you guys by a guy named White Hat, where he explains how to do the any percent tricks and glitches and whatnot. So hopefully you guys enjoyed, and if you guys want more of this, of tutorial why maybe certain games go faster, or anything you guys can think of, let me know. If not, again, I'm Cause Legion Keru. You can find me on Twitch, and as well as obviously YouTube, and hope to see you guys back here again with another video. I do perlers, I do speedruns. What else do I do? Can't think of anything. So just check out the rest of the videos if you so do wish, and hope to see you next time. Peace.